Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I'm Matt Burns.
I am John Bloor.
And I'm the quiet one. James
The quiet one.
Yes. And this is The Burning Truth.
I like that.
Yeah.
A subtle, nice introduction.
It is, yes. I like it as well. This is us, the three of us, talking about things largely centered on, but not limited to, professional wrestling. We do it every week. If you're new, welcome. If you know what to expect, I think it's probably overdue time I did this. The following broadcast may contain discussions which will feature language not suitable for younger listeners, listeners of a nervous disposition, and potentially other listeners. This broadcast may also contain strobe lighting effects.
So don't say fuck or bugger.
Oh, but Richie, can we say cunt?
No, you can't. Behave yourself.
Well, that's that done anyway. We did warn you.
And we're off.
We are legally covered. We warned you. We said there would be language. The fact that there immediately was, well, that just proves the point. But yeah.
Yeah, it just means tough.
So, warning ahoy again. There will be strong language this week and many soapboxes ahoy because, Matt Burns, what are we talking about?
Wrestling!
And more specifically,
The Royal Rumble!
yes, the Royal Rumble, the show which is, oh yeah, it's tonight, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, I introduce to you the Royal Rumble.
It's now time for the Royal Rumble match. You know, that time of the year where you're like, yay! I get to sit here for an hour and I don't get to have a clue what's going on, and that's part of the appeal.
Yeah,
That's one of the things we've got to talk about, isn't it?
Yeah.
How they've slightly buggered that this year.
It is, but we've also got to talk about something else, another topic that is non-Rumble related, to do with the WWE Network. But before we get to there, we've got two things to cover yet.
I assume this is where over the horizon comes the traditional weekly backing of the movements, which we still back.
What, bowel movements?
No.
No.
You said movements.
Not them sort of movements.
No, I was waiting for Matt Burns to fill us in on which particular movements, not those.
I was just about to say the only time Matt Burns has a movement is when he has a curry.
This is a serious bit, Irvine. If you could just let Matt Burns talk. This is the serious bit.
Yes, it is. But anyway, we digress. I'll just get to it. We've got the fact that the Burning Truth fully, massively supports the Black Lives Matter and, of course, hashtag Speaking Out. Our usual terms and phrases are still in attendance in regards to it. We still agree with all that, in regards to our prior messages that we've stated that, we've always got an open mic available if necessary, just as long as there's no slander. Still stands. And that's all. That's basically everything.
Yeah, that's that covered. That's awesome. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Hold your horses.
Well, what can I say? Yay!
I was going to say, I don't have any horses.
I was just about to say, Irvine's putting the cart before the horse.
Wild long face.
I mean, he does that quite often, but why particularly this time?
Anyway, unfortunately, we had a bit of a message sent to us.
Yes.
In which somebody was a little bit upset in regards to a certain statement that was made in regards to a quiz that myself and Irvine have attended.
Oh, JB.
Yeah, you were derogatory about the quiz. I know exactly what I said, and I'm sure I speak for everyone on The Burning Truth here when I say the intention was not and is never to cause offence to anybody, but occasionally, mouth opens before brain engages, and things may be said which unintentionally do cause offence. If that is the case, I, on this occasion and any future occasions when it happens, we wholeheartedly apologise. Please know it's not our intention. We just need to think a bit more before we speak.
Basically, what my colleague is trying to say is he meant no offence towards anybody. If it was worded incorrectly,
I said,
that wasn't the intention.
Yeah, okay, that's
the
enough
intention,
now.
as always with this podcast, this broadcast, this thing, is to make you think, make you laugh, entertain you, and very much not offend you. So, sincerest apologies if you were. We didn't mean it.
Right. We're going to have to
Either
now
of us.
officially...
Right, Irvine?
Yeah.
Good.
We're moving on. Anyway, let's get down to one of the major topics for this episode, because we've already, let's just say, we've already covered our predictions.
Yes, they are up on theburningtruthuk.com, the website where you can also read the blog. Don't do it now. You can't concentrate on us talking if you do that, but please feel free to read it afterwards and listen to this episode and past episodes.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is about it is, let's just say, we are actually glad that we posted it out when we did. Otherwise, part of it would have been completely negated.
Oh yeah, because we are on to our first soapbox topic of the week, of potentially all of them. But yeah, I think we should entitle this segment, What Are You Thinking, WWE?
Yeah.
We all know what WWE are thinking.
They're not.
Yeah.
That's the problem half the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And the problem that we've got with this is the fact that numbers were... We know what the numbers are. We know that we go from 1 to 30. We know the rules.
Yeah.
Our issue with it for this year, and in past years, they've done it in a smart way, as part of booking, as part of storyline. You know, made it a bit of a risk-reward criteria, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they've had situations where the winner of a match gets number 30, or the loser of a match gets number 1, or both. Which, you know, it's one number. It's fine. It doesn't spoil the grand scheme of things. But this year, they've outdone themselves in their stupidity because, okay, sometimes because of a stipulated match a couple of weeks prior to the event, you might know who number 1 or number 30 is. So that slightly spoils the start. But this year, all the excitement of, oh, okay, I know who number 1 is, or I don't, but I'm going to find out who they're going to be fighting for 2 minutes before anyone else shows up. And that's part of the fun and part of the appeal of the Rumble, has been pissed away by idiots in the booking department who have not only announced who number 1 is, but who number 2 is as well.
Yes.
Why have they done that?
Oh, to make it even worse,
What?
wasn't even done on the regular schedule programming.
Oh, no? You mean they pissed the whole Royal Rumble, men's, this is, I believe it's just the men's, up the wall by doing it on WWE.com?
Nope.
On Saturday Night Heat? Oh, wait, Sunday Night Heat is not a thing anymore. Oh, okay, where did they do it?
They basically might have actually revealed it on Backstage.
The 2021 version of Sunday Night Heat.
No, it's not even that. Or it's not even meant to be that. And essentially on social media. I saw it myself on social media.
Well, there you go. I managed to not see it until the other members of the Burning Truth told me. I did, however, manage to see the clip of the Monster Among Men returning, which, I don't know, made me happier than it should have, I'm sure.
You were happy about something?
I actually like the fact that Braun Strowman's back.
Oh, I might be a shoo-in to win it then.
I'm sure that'll wear off as
wait.
quickly as my like of Braun Strowman usually does. You know, take about 5 minutes. But I was genuinely happy to see him come back and beat some people up.
It was good, but the problem is he may actually have to face the pre-show curse.
The pre-show curse.
Well,
Do explain.
Not pre-show. The build-up. You know, the fact that the episode of SmackDown that he came back is the last SmackDown before the event. the
last
fact that
live
he was
show.
on top.
Yeah. Oh, I get
The
what
fact-
you're saying. You're saying basically because he was dominant in the last televised thing before the Rumble, that means he's gonna not do well in the Rumble.
Yeah.
It's possible.
And to make it even more confusing,
What?
just to break your brain, he returned on SmackDown.
Isn't
He's a
he
Raw superstar.
Yeah.
Did they just think, oh shit, we've run out of time here, we're going to have to shoe him in to SmackDown?
Yeah, I think they did. I think they
No.
actually genuinely went,
Oh, no.
we've got so much shit thrown at the wall, and some of it has even stuck, that 3 hours of Raw isn't enough. There's
Yeah.
nothing
Oh, no,
happening on
no.
SmackDown. Just
What makes it
shoehorn him in
worse-
there. It'll be fine.
Now, what makes it worse, they couldn't fit him into the 3-hour show. The fact that half the entire freaking Raw roster was on SmackDown this week.
Yeah, I don't understand how difficult it is to adhere to. You're on the red brand, you're on the blue brand. That means you don't appear on the other one.
That's because they're all going to be having. That's probably because they all wanted a big cuddle before the main event.
And do you know what the excuse was?
You
I
wanted
bet
a
it was
big cuddle?
crap, but no, what was it? Something tells me it didn't involve cuddling.
No, it didn't. Although it should do.
More
Orgies?
people should cuddle more of the time, but that's beside the point.
No.
What was the excuse?
The excuse was it was some like kind of special annually requirements, dual branded big thing. I think it was basically they were trying to say we're meant to be crossing over only for the big 4 pay-per-views.
Oh, I see. It was basically WWE saying, for the big 4 pay-per-views, the brand split doesn't exist because
On
reasons.
the last week,
Yeah.
even though SmackDown had no advertisement on Raw, and yet all the build-up matches for Raw events were on SmackDown. So, in actual fact, Raw ended up having almost an extra damn hour from SmackDown to
What
advertise
in the-
Raw stuff.
So dare I ask, in that case, what the bloody hell did they fill the 3 hours of Raw with?
Don't ask.
I wish I hadn't already, but, I have now.
I'm
so.
going to say maybe, I don't know, someone having a big, massive turd on the toilet for
Well,
half an hour.
was it a load of not very intelligent wrestlers trying to pronounce that dinosaur that Irvine looked up midweek?
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Yeah. All I can say is it's a TikTok trend. It's a dinosaur. Google it, and we're not responsible for the results, and we're definitely not saying it
Yeah,
on air.
I think a certain Viking from the Jug would appreciate that one.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Moving
the
swiftly.
point being is because before we even rant on Raw and touch this, because no, not going there.
on. We've
Anyway.
only got a certain amount of time for the show, so let's not have an hour rant on Raw.
Anyway.
Now. Let's move.
What we're going to discuss is the fact that for the men's side, and we're going to go back to our original topic, even though I just find it stupid of what happened on Raw this week. Just no, I'm not ranting on that. The supposed entries, the numbers being revealed, it's but like we said, they normally have a match. Nope, we ended up having 1 and 2 spoiled for the men's. And do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know who it is?
We do, unfortunately.
We do.
But
We
just in
do.
case-
Obviously, we do. But in case anybody doesn't know, the first entrant is
Ric
Spoiler
Flair.
alert!
And the second entrant is Norman Smiley. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Obviously.
Spoiler alert! In case
Spoiler
you don't want to
alert.
spoil.
I'm literally going to. In fact, let me say this one, Mr. Burns. What
All
I'm going
yours.
to say is I've now nicknamed him Mr. Quispy.
Mr. Crispy.
Mr. Quispy.
He's crispy.
The man whose new catchphrase should be, "Did you order original recipe or extra crispy?"
Exactly. Or how do you like your steak? Well done, medium or rare.
No, on fire.
Let me in! No, seriously, we got a
Aye.
fire extinguisher. Let me in!
I
He prefers it flambéed.
I like a flaming yum.
Anyway,
Just for
let's just
clarity.
get it out. Let's not beat
Yeah.
around the bush. It's Randy Orton.
Number 1 is Randy Orton. Which is good because I had a slightly unfortunate sort of thought prior to the Rumble that I thought he might actually possibly win. And, well, they've done number 1 or number 2 winning, 15 out of the 30 Rumbles so far, so they can't possibly do it again. So hopefully that's not going to happen.
Can I just say they've already done a number 1 and 2 this week? The first number 1 being Raw, and then the number 2 being SmackDown.
I like what you did there. It's
See
very
what I did
accurate.
there? Thank you very much.
But yes, and then on top of that, to compound that error, they announced who the number 2 was going to be. And
Yes.
anyone with half a brain who's watched any wrestling for the last 3 years could have narrowed it down to a field of 3 and probably picked which one it was going to be.
Yeah, we all thought that it was going to come down to WrestleMania for that one, but it just turns out that they're going to be pulling the trigger on that one a bit sooner than we thought.
Yes. Well, no, it will probably lead to something which will be the paper-thin excuse they need for the match at WrestleMania, which is at least some semblance of sensible booking in advance, which, sometimes that happens in WWE. But we are, of course, talking about Edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I think's going to happen, don't you?
Please, just
I have
try.
some interesting news for you.
What?
Irvine.
Yeah.
Someone says hello.
Someone says hello. That could
He
be
is
Simon.
from the Jug.
Oh, hello, Mr. Mandrew.
He is none other than the Viking. Has just messaged me separately just to say he's listening in, and I believe it was he's a massive fan of Strowman.
Ah,
Well, only because
Cool.
he looks like him. Just with hair on his head.
fair enough. So, does anyone want my crazy idea for what might happen at the Rumble? and
Yes,
then at
please
WrestleMania?
do. Mr. Burns, stop interrupting. You don't
Yes.
like it when JB does it? Shut
Oh.
your cake hole.
I should preface this with, if you're going to go with this brain fart, all checks made payable to The Burning Truth, please, Skeletor. Thank you.
Yeah, He-Man.
So, here's what happens. Both Edge and Randy Orton are fighting amongst themselves. Both get tipped out of the ring by Lashley. This results in Team Rated RKO being reformed and winning the tag team titles from the Hurt Business at WrestleMania.
That's actually not a bad idea.
You're welcome.
I actually quite like that.
I thought you might.
Mr. Burns, you may now open your cake hole.
I think it should be either Strowman or The Fiend.
Well, yeah, that's also a possibility for getting rid of them, but no, I just thought that had a nice ring to it, and it actually leads to something
No,
at
the
Mania.
idea, fine. I've got no issue with it. I just think Strowman or Fiend, because Fiend probably to get one up on Randy Orton and get back on him.
Yeah.
And then but at the same time,
Hang on.
Who knows?
Just answer me a quick question here, right?
Yeah.
The Fiend is now an extra crispy barbecue steak, right? So, is he actually not dead? Is it still the same character, just wearing a slightly black around the edges mask? Or what is going on with that?
Yeah, what is going on with that? Is he going to come back looking like Sloth out the Goonies? I don't know.
No idea.
You have to bear in mind, I don't watch
Or
Raw or SmackDown,
could
so I
even
take
go-
it there's been no clues given on that either.
well, there might have been, but the problem is WWE's how they're doing it. They're probably relying on everyone to be. Let's do nonsense and see if they figure it out.
Well, that normally works with Wyatt, but in this instance, I think some straight answers were probably more sensible.
I feel as though Wyatt had his idea and WWE's gone, no, we're going to do something more convoluted and more crazy.
This seems to be what happens with most of the ideas that Wyatt has, to be honest.
Yeah, and all the ideas that Wyatt has are absolute gold, obviously. Because
Agree.
The Fiend,
He's like one of the most original characters this century.
You're not supposed to agree with me anymore, JB. I thought we had this conversation before we came on live.
Well,
It's
if you're
not
going
breaking
to
the
all
talk
is
internet.
wrong. It's
nothing
like
but
the butterfly
sense.
effect. It's like the butterfly effect. My God.
Well, all I could say then is stop talking sense, and then I'll have to disagree with you.
That's better. I can agree with that. I just get the feeling that Mr. Burns is the odd one out this week.
Slightly, yes.
What, all by myself?
He wants to play all with himself.
No, what the... Nope.
Mind out the gutter.
Right.
Moving on from that swiftly.
Back on. I'm going to have to cover the surprise entry, the numbers again.
Yeah, we
we've
haven't
got
quite
to-
finished with that yet, have we? No.
Yeah,
Let's wrap it
yeah.
up.
No, let's get on to it, because this bit, this one, okay, the number 1 and number 2 roll, fine, I understand, at least it's got a bit of history, as in, they've got a feud going on.
Yeah, it's stupid to reveal the numbers beforehand. I would have liked to have just heard the music and gone, that's sensible. But yeah, the two people actually, it makes sense that they'd be fighting each other, so they can have that.
The number 30 spot for the women's.
Yeah. I don't know why it was between those two people. I don't know why they want to be number 30. I don't know why WWE are determined to never actually adhere to logic and have the freshest and last guy in the Rumble, or girl, win the bloody thing. But it ain't going to happen this year.
Hang on.
Can I just put your brakes on? Let me explain my thoughts on it, because since I brought it up.
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
No, I want to know who it is first before you start waffling on.
That's what I was just about to get on with.
He's getting to that. Give him a minute.
Oh, for God's sake.
The major issue is the fact that it was revealed on Backstage, a match on Backstage, when there's SmackDown, Raw, the WWE Network, God knows how much TV they've got.
WWE.com.
Right? Yeah, there's that. To put it in, but they fitted it on to a Fox show that's meant to be talking about the storylines, but having a match instead. Okay. And it's between Natalya and Tamina.
Yeah. I'm struggling to think of two people that A, deserve, and B, the vast majority of fans care about less for being number 30. No offence to either, but it's that WWE haven't exactly concertedly made efforts to make us care about either of them.
There's just no shock factor there.
No.
On top of that,
wow, yeah. There's no shock factor. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. On top of that, to make matters even worse, when were they actually on the regular scheduled programming?
Like
Well,
never ago.
No. When people actually cared.
Only
I'm not.
fans.
This is a wrestling podcast. Stop bringing accounting into it. Behave.
Stop bringing accounting into it, because we do not want to be possibly getting banned on on certain platforms.
We do not mention accounting on this show. It's in the no-no list with politics and whatever the other thing is. That's off the top of my head. I should know.
Religion.
That's the one.
Anyway, back to where we were. The point being is, I'm not disrespecting Natalya because of her history, or Tamina because of her history. It's just the fact of, there's a lot of top contenders who've been fighting for that 30 spot, who would have been more high ranked on the card, and instead we've got two people who haven't been on the main roster for quite some time. And then to even make it even worse is the fact that it was just, we'll just shoehorn it in.
Yeah. It is a bit rushed, a bit shoehorned, and a bit pointless. But shall we look on the bright side?
As a bright side.
Yeah, at least number 30 isn't Lana.
No.
Because
Oh,
the
somebody
very
else has it.
idea that she's coming in last and she might repeat what happened at Survivor Series and accidentally win the Royal Rumble. No, I don't even want to go there. Just block that thought from my mind.
We already know one person who's got that theory that it might happen, but on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about that. That's on the blog. But anyway, point being is, it just seems a bit silly in we need to move on from this one.
It seems a little bit silly, but yeah, we do need to move on. So I think to wrap up, revealing numbers beforehand, silly.
Yes. Let's hop on to the next topic, which is the surprise entries for the Royal Rumble.
The annual surprise of hearing the music hit of someone who you thought was now an accountant. No, not that kind. Or an estate agent or something out of wrestling completely and who's
Police
come
officer,
back.
Fireman.
Yeah, who's come back for one more nightclub owner, you name it. But someone who you didn't expect to be there, and you can pop and mark out like an 8-year-old briefly and go, yeah, it's nice to see them. Oh, they've gone.
Tatanka.
Yeah. Good example. I can't think of another one now you've dumped that one on us.
I can think of a few.
Godfather.
DDP.
DDP?
Yeah.
Bang.
I thought he was no.
One of Mick Foley's 7 personalities.
Oh, yes. However, we've also got to, who knows? We could even have a shock surprise and have Seth Rollins back. We could also have Becky Lynch back, but doubtful.
Yeah. It could
There's
also
even
be...
Go on.
I was going to say, literally anyone from the past and from the much maligned, but frankly, we wouldn't be where we are now without it, Divas era in the women's match. I know we've had lots of them in the last couple of years, but there's a few that haven't made an appearance yet that might.
Do you know what? I'm tell you something. I actually have this very, very, very strange, horrible feeling in the pit of my gut that Dunk the Clown is going to make an appearance.
Well,
awkward.
Bearing in mind that the Gobbledygulak made an appearance at Survivor Series, it's not out of the question.
Yeah, so now it'll be the Doinkly Gulak.
Yes.
Yeah, but anyway, point being is...
Because he gets the best jobs, you see.
He really does, yeah.
Right. But then again, we've also got to discuss some of the ones where people will sit there going... They'll go, yeah, huh? As well.
What, as in, yay, they're here, but why are they here?
Oh, no.
Or,
no.
oh no, they're going to hurt themselves. Like if it was the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, no, we don't want this to happen.
Yeah.
them ones. Because as much as I will say, for one of them, they were brilliant in their industry that they were made famous for, didn't exactly make the popular before they had time off.
Oh, are you talking about the infamous and nearly always doesn't live up to its expectations celebrity entrance for the Royal Rumble?
Nope.
Oh, okay then.
I was speaking of...
Because there may be one of them, and it could be anybody.
Maybe, but, well, probably not Snoop Dogg, but we'll not get onto that.
Oh, no. God.
Well, if it is Snoop Dogg, let's face it, he's probably just going to come in a Just Eat t-shirt and give people pizzas.
And if he does make an appearance, good Lord, do not let that man on top rope.
No.
The man
I am
with
pointing
the
the finger at you,
2.4-inch
AEW.
pythons.
I am pointing the finger at you, AEW, for that abysmal.
I have not seen, but every fibre of my being is screaming, don't want to see.
We're straying.
Cannot unsee.
Anyway, back to everywhere. What I'm saying is the fact that Ronda Rousey can make an appearance, and if you remember the last time before she left, she upset a lot of people.
Yes. Quickly remind me why, because
you've scrubbed it from your mind.
The fact that when she left, she turned around and says it's nothing but stage, it's fake, blah blah blah, and this is why she was still under contract and still is until the first night of WrestleMania.
Well, spoiler alert.
Yep.
I would just like to inform everybody that Ronda Rousey and wrestling have two things in common.
What?
They're absolutely fucking shit.
What?
Would you care to elaborate on that statement?
Yeah, I didn't rate her as a wrestler, so she can fuck off for all I care.
Oh, I see. You mean Ronda Rousey in wrestling? We thought you meant wrestling as a whole. Massive miscommunication.
Yes. I was just about to say miscommunication there, because I'm doing a wrestling show with
Where you're
two my
Yeah, this is
and
why
I've
we
just
were
turned around and
confused.
said,
We were like, hold on. You talk about it every week and you think it's shit. What is there something you need to confess to us? Do you need to go and have a lie down?
No, I
What's
said
going on?
WWE and Ronda Rousey have in common.
Well, lately, WWE.
Yeah. Well, there you
Yeah,
go. Do you know what I'd just like to see if Ronda Rousey does come back? I'd like to see her come straight in, make a beeline for a certain person who she's genuinely got a large disagreement with, choke them out, and then just flip the bird and leave.
I like how you say large.
Yeah,
Not
wasn't
touching
the
that
intention.
one. Not touching that one.
I'm not touching that one with a fucking barge pole. All I'm saying is the person who hates her and who I would assume she hates equally as much.
I'm not touching that one either. I wouldn't touch it with your barge pole.
Anyway, let's just move on to the next person who could be a surprise entrant. That will cause fans go, yeah, and be upset.
We'll go, yeah, oh no.
Yeah.
Go on, who?
He is the former reigning and defending.
Not Bork Laser.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bjorn Bork Laser.
Yeah. The problem is with that one is if he comes in and wins it, that will just set everybody off.
Literally, it will be the last Royal Rumble anyone that is over the age of 8 ever watches.
Pretty much.
And especially if he won it. Oh my God. Can you
I can only
imagine?
think of one person who I'd like to win it less.
Can you imagine if he actually came in and won it?
Yeah, I could genuinely only think of one person in the entire history of professional wrestling who might win it, who I would like to win it less.
Go on.
And that would be someone who a certain Mr. Bork Laser had an absolute stinker of a match with at WrestleMania 20.
Well, that doesn't narrow it down a fucking lot.
Yes, it does.
At WrestleMania 20.
Yeah, don't forget, I wasn't watching.
Refereed by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And
No,
he's
The
also in
biggest
a
pop
match.
of the entire
Wait.
25-minute match was when
No,
Austin
I
slammed
didn't
both
watch
of them
it.
after the
I
bell.
didn't
Wait.
watch it.
Stop
Hello?
where you are. Stop where you
Hello?
are.
I didn't watch it.
I'll give Irvine the biggest clue here. He's against Drew.
I'll give you the biggest clue. Who's next? Oh, wait. Who's next to change the title?
But the problem
we're
is...
talking about that pile of fucking garbage.
No, we're not touching it. We're not touching it.
You just did.
Luckily,
Can you just wash your hands now?
Yeah, but the thing is, I've got a horrible feeling Drew's going to win the championship match, so he's then going to decide to enter himself into the Rumble, and I don't even want to think about it.
You do realise if he does enter the Rumble, exactly if he does win it, what will be the result? What will happen?
Yeah,
I lost to Drew, so I'm going to go for Roman, which will just be...
Which is fine, because then, at WrestleMania, Roman versus Goldberg is basically everyone in the world's extended toilet and get a drink break.
Basically, the match that didn't happen last year.
Yeah. And for good
Anyway,
reason. Yes.
moving on.
So, is there anyone who is rumoured to potentially be entering who might be a good thing to just balance from those two who nobody wants to see?
Santino?
Got to put a smile on your face. Is he attempting to beat his 1.9 second record for shortest entry?
Oh, good Lord, please.
I wasn't ready.
Good Lord, please. Because that was absolutely hysterical. But then again, at the same time, we could have even more big surprises in the Rumble. You know, we could have, someone possibly from the past, I don't think Triple H would be in it himself. You could even have a certain Godfather make an appearance.
I believe I mentioned him a little while back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do
no.
you know,
Oh, no.
Do you know who I'd actually like to see
Yeah, go on. Who? Please
in the
tell us.
Rumble? And I'm pretty sure Irvine will agree with this. Booker T.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. That'd be cool.
Do you know who I'd like to see in the Rumble as a surprise entry, just for the pure nostalgia pop of when WWE used to remember that they paid him? Aleister Black.
Yeah, that too. Hey, I tell you what, though, I'd like to see the Big Show. I'd like to see the Big Show come out and relive his entire WWE/WWF career, because he'll have heel, face, heel, face, heel, face turn in the ring.
Depending on who he's eliminating. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be quite interesting.
He'd just be like the Big Show, just reliving out his entire WWE career.
Here's a nice thought as well. Do you know who if at some point they have a situation in the Rumble where more than one member of the Hurt Business might be ganging up on people? Surprise entry to eliminate them all? Mark Henry.
No, he can't because he has an injured leg and is on a scooter.
This is a shame.
I was just about to say, they did that whole thingy with... Didn't they do that
Randy
whole thing
Orton.
with Randy Orton when he was actually fucking, quite severely injured?
I did not remember that, but yes, fair point, they did.
Well, to be fair, honestly, it was a nothing segment.
However...
Which is probably why I forgot it, but yeah.
However, if Mark Henry did enter, I would pop for it, especially if he did a certain move that a former WWE superstar used to do, and not his own finisher.
Please elaborate.
It's the person he's been arguing with on Twitter, but we'll leave that there.
Would this happen to rhyme with bareback?
Potentially.
Oh my God!
But we won't be mentioning that because we don't want certain people to get upset.
Yeah, we don't want to get sued by a massive Mardor, bald-headed Mardor, little whining cryy baby,
who people mistake for Simon Miller.
Yeah. Not saying that Simon Miller is a big whiny.
No, far from
baby.
it. All round good
but
guy.
a certain person.
Simon Miller looks like the kind of guy that I'd walk up to and give a big, sloppy, wet kiss and a cuddle.
Well, there you go.
And then whisper gently in his left ear whether he wanted the spoon or not.
Okay, I'll just say I'll give him a handshake and a hug, but that's it.
That went in an unexpected direction, yeah.
Anyway.
I think I'd go more down the route that Matt Burns chose there if I had to take sides, let's be honest. And let's move on.
Let's move on. However, do you know, actually, there is one person I wouldn't mind seeing in the Rumble making a surprise return.
Gilbert.
Oh, good Lord. I'd pop for that.
Taka Michinoku.
Nope.
Or what's left of his face.
No.
He's had 20 years to recover. It's fine.
I'm going to say JTG.
Yeah.
Okay.
One half of Crime Time.
Yes, we know who he is. It's just...
It's a bit of a tribute to his comrade.
To Shad, yes.
Yeah.
That would be a feel-good moment until WWE shat on it by getting whoever was the biggest heel bastard in the ring at the time to just throw him straight out again, because they can't let anyone have their moment, ever.
But then again, bearing in mind the fact that with JTG, he was on the books for many months untouched until he answered his phone on the was it Total Divas?
I think so, yeah.
Answered his phone and then they realised he's under their employment and got fired.
Yeah, because they probably were going through a list of phone numbers.
Not fired.
Who even is that?
Got released.
Yeah. And then immensely, hilariously, had his bio picture on his Twitter profile shortly after that. His face with a cartoon voice bubble coming out of it going, "Where's my Legends contract?"
Yeah.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a really fucked up finish to the end of the Men's Royal Rumble So Vince McMahon literally gets
So you want him
explosive
to come down to the ring and
diarrhea.
actually explodes like the guy in the Monty Python film with the wafer thin mint?
Well, I was thinking more so along the lines of he gets explosive diarrhea, explodes out of his chair from round the back, goes literally duck walking / pace walking /
Vince walking.
I've just shit myself, Vince McMahon walking,
Yeah.
dive into the ring, and then I want to see, severely crippled Vince McMahon lie on the floor and
No.
turn around and say, "Start the match, damn you! I've on my fucking quads." Oh my god!
Unexpected hilarity moment in Royal Rumble history. That's right up there.
That is one of the best. I think it was in our group chat not long ago, wasn't it, Mr. Burns?
Yes, it was when he blew out his, I believe it was his cart, as due to the finish of the Royal Rumble involving Cena and Batista went completely,
both of
absolutely,
them botched
erroneously
it.
wrong.
Yeah, I was just about to say it. Literally, you couldn't have timed that botch finish any better.
And the fact that you have him walking down absolutely livid and upset. But anyway, we will need to actually move on.
We do.
Because we've still got 2 more subjects to discuss.
Yeah, and time is moving on. So what's the next one?
The next one involves the WWE Network.
Yay! Your home of everything WWE's ever made, including all the stuff it wishes it did.
Yay,
Now,
the one I can't afford.
You're working now. Give it a month.
Anyway, the point being is, with this one, the news is the fact that the WWE Network, the distribution for it in the USA, in America, has been sold.
Yes.
And I'm going to have to pick unfortunately, I've got to name the company. And I'm guarantee you someone's going to be making a reference to D-Generation X at some point.
I wonder who you could be referring to.
Right. All I'll say is the company in question is owned by NBC, I believe, but the actual company is called Peacock.
Yes. Named, of course, after the bird. Get your minds out of the gutter.
My mind wasn't in the gutter.
It's the first time for everything.
Even though I've seen the internet pretty much to state, what does Vince love? But we'll not go there.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if we were actually going to touch on that one, I had a fair few things that I like to say about that.
Yes, but for legal reasons, let's not. Needless to say, it means that the distribution and, selling rights of the WWE Network in North America is now under the control of Peacock. Anywhere outside North America, however, it remains as it was. So for those of you listening where we're all based in the UK, nothing's actually going to change.
Nah.
Potentially, but the problem is with it is we don't know exactly if they're going to be able to air it live on the during in America during that time. We don't know exactly the distribution, but all we've heard that is supposedly that under the Peacock's control is that the subscription fee should be reduced.
Hey, no one's going to complain about that. Because we all know how well reducing the subscription fee worked for Powered 4 TV, formerly Turnbuckle TV, don't we?
True. But the thing is about it is, what's not very clear, and we don't know exactly, is this reduced price, is that on top of the WWE subscription?
No.
Is it actually in total? We don't know. It's not been
the thing
clear.
is, I think what they're saying is they can put it down to $6 or $7.99 a month because WWE can afford to take the hit in income because of the fat check that NBC via Peacock have given them for the privilege of
that Peacock
running the network.
Yeah, that's fine. But anyway, the point being is, okay, that's fine, but it just seems a bit unusual the fact that they've sold it so quickly. And for me personally, if they're selling the US distribution, when are they going to be selling the UK or other countries?
And the question is, if they sell it to, let's say, BT Sport, for example, does that kind of tie them into being on BT Sport forever?
Potentially.
You know, because it's like, well, we own your back catalogue, so you have to be on our network now. Or will it just become the case that, let's say they want to renegotiate and Sky offer a better deal and they want to go back to Sky? Does that mean Sky now have to pay more because they have to buy the network rights as part of the deal? I don't know how it's going to work.
No idea. But the point being is, we'll have to wait and see.
We will.
If it comes round to it. But it just seems a bit unusual for myself. It's just, what's the end game? Well, we know the end game is the fact that they try and get as much money out
Is
as
the bottom
possible.
line.
The problem is this WWE's way of saying that the WWE network is a complete failure to them, or not?
Possibly. No, I don't think that's the case at all, because it literally has made them so much money that they were able to abandon the pay-per-view system. So I wouldn't call it a failure.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It just seems a bit. It just seems a bit
strange.
unusual.
Let's just see what happens, shall we? Because it's very early
Exactly.
days. We covered that quickly. Right, what's the next topic?
Oh dear.
Are we bracing ourselves for Mucho Soapbox?
It may need to be a stage.
A stage with the word WrestleMania written in 50-foot high letters in glowing neon pyro, and like a thing that means they can project images onto the floor.
And potentially be enforced.
Mm.
And it's a topic that Mr. Irvine mentioned to me, but it was something I was considering myself discussing, but I feel Irvine should have the privilege of mentioning this topic.
Without further ado, Mr. Irvine, what is it?
Well, first of all, I'd like to state to everybody that I am extremely fucking tired at the minute. So if my words are not making any sense or I'm coming across like I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about, it's because I am surviving on very little sleep. But without further ado, let's jump into this one. Jim Cornette, you are a fucking cunt.
First things first, may I suggest vaguely cough syrup flavoured, highly caffeinated fizzy beverages to keep you awake. There are many available. I'm naming none by name because, being good and everything. Energy drinks.
You're a fucking monster.
Where's my monster?
Why, fucking bastard.
Rockstar, Red Bull.
Anyway.
Energy drinks. There are millions of them. Any of them. Have one. Drink one. Caffeine yourself up to the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Because not only will you then be, yay, happy, but when you crash and fall asleep, it'll be amazing. Be out for days.
I need to go to sleep tonight because I got work very early in the morning.
Fair enough. But anyway, yes. Talking energy drinks aside, back to the point. Jim Cornette. Dear.
Jim Cornette, you are an absolute fucking weasel of a man. 99.9% of shit that piles out of that man's mouth isn't comedy gold, isn't genius, isn't funny in the slightest. In fact, actually, it breaks our cardinal rule, which is don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Yeah. He is kind of, I think we discussed this off air before we started. He is kind of the Piers Morgan of wrestling, isn't he? 99.99% of the time, you hear what he says and you're like, that's a bit unnecessary, a bit, hurtful or whatever. And 1% of the time, you might see something he says that you agree with, but that doesn't actually condone all the other shit.
But here's the thing
that is hateful or just plain wrong.
Here's the thing. I come up with stuff that's like on the nose, I'll call you a cunt if you're a cunt. I'll call you a twat if you're a twat. I'll call you whatever name.
I'll call
under
you
the sun.
out if you take advantage of people.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're all the same.
So when it comes down to Cornette, it's not just what he's saying, but it's also the context. It's also his mannerisms.
Do we just get the impression that he's trying really, 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 really too hard to be shocking and to try and provoke opinions out of people, and he's run out of legitimate ways to do it, so now he's just offending people?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like that. There's a Facebook group on Facebook, obviously, because I called it a Facebook group. Exactly. I'm fucking tired. Get over it. Deal with it.
Good. They're fine.
Anyway, so I see it pop up all the time. Now, I don't follow this group, but it irritates me every single time because it keeps popping up. And I blocked it twice, and it still keeps coming up. It's called the Cult of Cornette. And
one letter out from being accurate.
Well, yeah. And I see some of the people that support Cornette, and I just look at him, and I'm just like, what the fuck is your deal?
Without going into any details, because the things are on the no-no list that we can't talk about, but you just get the impression that certain people who like Cornette are also fans of certain other things that just make us rational, sensible thinking people just go,
yeah,
no,
you're a dick.
He's a cunt and so are you.
Yeah, I was just about to say, they also break the cardinal rule of don't be a dick.
Yes.
So, I've completely tried to ignore Cornette for a while, and this just takes the cake. And I know...
But if you can possibly say it without getting yourself in any hot water, what particular thing has he said that's made it impossible for you to ignore him and remind what a piece of shit he is?
Allow me to explain, because Jim Cornette can get away with fucking murder. He says some right fucking shit, so I'm just going to put it out there. I don't give a flying fuck if it offends anybody that supports Cornette and what he says. I couldn't give a flying fuck. I don't give a shit. Gets me in hot water, I don't care.
No,
so
the point is,
straight out,
we don't want to offend anybody else, but frankly, the kind of people that like Cornette are probably going to get offended anyway, so...
Well, I was just about to say, he can go fucking blow up like a fucking tomato that he is then, can't he? He literally looks like one of them fucking tomatoes that's like googly eyes fucking glued to his fucking face, you know what I mean? It irritates the fuck out of me. Anyway, back to the point. The point is that he keeps attacking Chris Jericho and AEW for no valid reason. We criticise... No, don't interrupt me, please. What I'm going to say to you is that he mentions things about WWE. He's not so cruel about the WWE. Yes, he comes up with his derogatory things that he says against the WWE. But when it comes up to AEW, and this is not me coming across as a fanboy, but this is me coming across as a rational thinking human being, is that when AEW does something that's actually a bit better than WWE, Jim Cornette criticises it to the stage where it's not funny anymore. And then when you've got Chris Jericho, who's in his 50s, right? You've got Chris Jericho in his 50s. He's not going to be this, slim, muscular guy. And he's actually body shaming him. Now, we mentioned this not long ago. We just mentioned this not long ago about certain promotion around our area body shaming Matt Burns. It's not on. It's not on.
In much the same way that WWE have done it after presenting it was fine with, Otis and Keith Lee. It's not on there either.
But let's yeah, exactly. And it's clear that they are body shaming him because Vince McMahon's like, I want you to cover up your body. Nah. You know what I mean? It's fucking, what the fuck? You can't go around body shaming people. You can't. Chris Jericho, obviously, it's like water off a duck's back. He's made his money in wrestling. He's helping people. He's helping wrestlers get over now. And, he's had his time. First undisputed champion. I mean, come on. Yeah, why the fuck would he give a shit what Cornette thinks? But when it comes to personally attacking his physical image, And, you know, you could tell this one's actually affected Chris Jericho, because even if he says that it hasn't, it's all about, we go down to mental health and stuff like that again. It's the mental scars there then, because he's body shaming him. And I'm not being funny, but Cornette's a fucking horrible, dumpling looking fucking bloke anyway. And, you know, he's that fucking... He literally looks like...
Be careful, because what you don't want to do here is
No. I'm just going to say this now. Fuck Cornette. Fuck him. He's a cunt.
I'm not saying
we understand.
That's not what I'm saying.
I don't want to get into body shaming either, but frankly, how can we put this? People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, then.
Right.
Yeah, let's put it like that if we want to be fucking
let's
princesses about it.
Can I just interact here, seeing as I've been quiet for most of it?
No.
Because I'm just going to be putting me 2 cents in now, because from time to time I'll say with Cornette, he has been right about certain things about the infamous VFR person. We know who that is, and his hatred.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. But at times it can be a bit out there. Now, this is the point where I'm definitely agreeing with Irvine in regards to this. The fact that he's body shaming Chris Jericho, and I thought it was a bit. It was the fact of, like, when they do something good, he literally criticizes them. But then when something went wrong with Chris Jericho, I mean, he was all over it. Like, he made sure to point this out. He's not a spring, you know, and everything. Yes, we know that he's not a spring chicken, but to body shame him is not the best either, because, like Irvine was stating, mental health is still massively important. Because, and in case if anybody wants to sit there and say, well, Chris Jericho wasn't affected by it, you sure about that?
Do you know him personally? Are you sure?
No, you don't even have to even know him personally to know it's affecting him.
Yeah.
Because he did the move that he was being shamed for, which was the lion salt. And then on the next episode of AEW, after that segment had gone out from Cornette, Chris Jericho deliberately ended the match with that move, which he hit perfectly. And he deliberately, as he did it, put a smirk on his face, right aimed at the camera. Deliberately, as if it was almost like a bit of a screw you.
Which is the ultimate response to most of the garbage that Cornette comes out with.
But the point being is, he had to respond to it, which, in a way, I know what some people are saying, you know, that could have bothered him. Not necessarily. That could have been his way of sticking the middle finger up at him, saying, really, you won't go down that road? Now, the point being is, the fact is, Jericho's had to address it in such a way during a match.
Yeah, but it's not the first time that he's addressed it, though, is it? I mean, look at that, the body shaming. He felt the need, after he'd had a training session, to post a fucking topless picture of himself, just to prove. And then you've got people on the cult of Cornette that have got, like, a picture of Homer Simpson when he literally pegged his skin to the back so he looked thinner at the front. And I just don't find it funny.
It's not. There is absolutely no need for it.
I just don't find it funny. I mean, I've got a very warped sense of humour. I've got a dark sense of humour as well.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a dark sense of humour and just being blatantly offensive to someone, just for the sake of trying to score likes on the internet. And frankly, for far too long, Cornette has been trying to score likes with the lowest common denominator, just taking pot shots at, here's an idea, Cornette. I don't particularly like AEW. I don't watch it. I'm not a big fan of the product. I don't really think it's a rival to WWE. Do you ever hear me mention it? Do you ever hear me come on to this particular platform that I have and go, yeah, shoddy broadcast, second quality wrestlers, yeah, I don't like it. They're all fat, or something equally derisory and, you know, pointless and just done for clicks. No, I don't do that because I've got more common sense and self-respect. If you've got nothing nice to say, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, thank you.
On. No, this
I don't like AEW, so I don't talk about it. Take a leaf out of my book once in a while.
which is why I want to make sure to put out, across the fact that he is. I am actually siding with Irvine in this.
Yeah.
The fact that he should be following rule number 1
Of Progress, The Burning Truth, and life in general.
which is translation.
A dick.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, I think we are all wholeheartedly agreed it's long overdue time that Jim Cornette shuts up and goes away forever.
It's potential. It's just he's always going to have his rants. He's always going to have his followers. My advice is, for me personally, try not to focus on him too much.
Just if you don't like him, just ignore it. If you ignore him long enough, he'll go away.
But anyway, shall we move on? Shall we?
Yeah, I think that's more than enough on that.
Yeah,
so
move
let's
on
move
before
on
I blow a gasket.
to.
Any non-wrestling topics you want to cover for this week?
I am currently in the background watching the Daytona 24 Hours because I'm a massive motorsport geek. That's been immense fun. Yay, the motorsport season started again. So over the next few months, I'll have more of that to talk about in the non-wrestling topics. But for this week, I think I just want to say one simple sentence. Lewis Hamilton, sign a new fucking contract. What's wrong with you?
Any topics you'd like to cover, Irvine?
I can't think of any.
I've got one quick one, which is to basically check out the blog for this week.
The blog on theburningtruthuk.com.
Yeah.
Written this week by...
Myself.
Matt Burns. Yes. When you are on the website, after you finish listening, maybe, just before you listen to a past episode or maybe before you check out some of the links, maybe some of the predictions...
No. And predictions, and also don't forget, if you want to also support us.
Yeah, to support us as well by buying the merch. Yeah, when you've done all of that and you read the blog, read this week's because it's interesting, thought-provoking. Everything a blog should be.
For me, it was short, sweet, and simple to the point. All I was to say is keep moving forward.
Yes. And if you want more of that sort of thing, you can also follow The Burning Truth on Instagram, where that sort of post gets posted quite a lot.
Every Monday, I believe.
Yes. Monday motivation.
Ding! Anyway.
But enough of that. We need to move on to a sort of special, super expanded edition of the Epic Wrestling Moment.
Yeah.
And I say special and super expanded because it's Royal Rumble weekend. So the Epic Wrestling Moment is the Royal Rumble match.
Which way are we going first?
Oh yeah, just so that the listeners at home who weren't party to our pre-broadcast discussion, we're each going to pick our favourite and least favourite Royal Rumble over the 34-year history of the event. And I think, because of the potential for soapboxes to get it out of the way, we should go worst first. Do you agree?
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Unanimously agreed. Right then. So, who wants to start? In all the Royal Rumbles you have ever seen, who wants to go first with which is their worst one?
You know what?
I nominate
I'll go first.
Yes.
I'm going to go first.
Go on.
For me, the worst Rumble, and I have a feeling that someone's going to jump straight onto this immediately as soon as I say, and the reason why,
Right.
will be the Royal Rumble of 2015.
Eek.
Mm.
Good call.
Now, a lot of you are probably just now thinking, why 2015? Which Rumble was that? Yeah.
Give us a bit of context.
This is the Rumble where I believe we had someone deciding to go, right, we'll fit him in and let's go with it. And he's the big dog. He's going to be winning it, the big dog. Roman Reigns. And this is when the crowd were absolutely hating on Roman started
This
to hate on
was-
Roman Reigns.
When the crowd were giving him John Cena at One Night Stand 2005 levels of "we despise the very sight of you."
Yes.
Mhm.
And I find at the same time, it's annoying for how much WWE trying to force Roman Reigns down our throats. I feel a little bit sorry for Roman Reigns in this case because if we look at 2014, if I'm not mistaken, didn't WWE want him to win that one?
I don't recall, but probably.
Oops. But anyway,
Yeah.
it goes to show a whole year can make a change. But anyway,
Yeah.
the problem with this one is the fact that you knew it was bad. The fact that when he won it, you've got the crowd boo.
Yeah,
Given
to
that-
such a level that WWE couldn't mask it without
Right.
literally cutting the sound entirely.
And you sit there thinking, how can they even try to save this? Roman Reigns getting beat up. The crowd are cheering Roman Reigns getting beat up.
Yeah.
To then have The Rock come down and make the save and then raise Roman Reigns' hand, and you think, an endorsement from The Rock? You know, the crowd must cheer him. You know, WWE's probably thinking, "Oh, cheer him."
No.
When you have the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, who was over like Rover, who
Yeah,
is
the most
whenever he
negative
makes an
reaction
appearance,
in all of sports and entertainment.
yeah, he only has to have his music hit to have a pop. And as he raises Roman's hand, you can see on his face the visible, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a collective. Really, Dwayne, is that what your integrity and your soul is worth? Okay, you've diminished in our opinion somewhat.
Yeah, it just seems a bit unusual. Just at least he managed to just, okay, this is happening.
Yeah.
But then again, with The Rock, he probably would have known how that would have felt because when it happened to him, at least during that time, WWE actually thought, "Oh no, let's go with what they're doing. They're booing him. Let's turn him." No, we had
Yes.
to wait another almost 6 years before they turned Roman.
Yeah, to the point where, they
And now-
turned the other two almost as much as the Big Show, where it was meaningless, to the point where one of them had walked out of the company.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, the point being is the fact that we've now got, I believe, the heel Roman that people were asking for during that time.
And
He's-
WWE is
and
still
it's working.
managing to make it suck.
No, not the Roman stuff. That's all gold. I think that's all gold.
Opinion, but fair enough.
What about you, Irvine?
What is your worst Royal Rumble ever?
Exactly the same.
Same reason?
Same reason. I disagree
Wow.
with the Roman Reigns stuff at the moment, though. Apart from
You agree with me?
The only disagreement I have is that the Jey Uso stuff was not good. Was fucking terrible.
Agreed.
But now the storyline has come full circle, even though I don't believe he deserved a second match. But you got one anyway. But there you go.
Fair enough.
You got like the whole angle as he's come round to helping his cousin. It's better. It's better this way. It is better. It's
Fair
better for
enough.
Roman, and it's better for Jey Uso as well, because they've been goody two shoes for so long now, and I don't know, they just play it really well.
Well, there you go. That's pretty
But
cool.
anyway, the 2015 Royal Rumble was absolutely fucking garbage.
And so, does that mean it's my turn?
That would mean that BJ gets his turn.
Who? Does he? Who's he? Does he get a say in this?
BJ.
I don't know who that is, but since he's not here, I'm going to go next.
Okay,
Right.
BJ.
Shut up, Irvine.
Okay, BJ.
Go on, JB.
Thank you, Matt Burns. With a dishonourable mention to the clusterfuck that was last year, where half the Royal Rumble was Brock Lesnar standing around sweating, waiting for the next person he was going to kill the career of.
I'm sorry.
The
I'm
worst
sorry.
Royal Rumble in history, which even manages to eclipse that, is the clusterfuck that was the 1993 Royal Rumble. The first one, aged 7, that I ever watched anything close to live. I had a neighbour that had Sky back then. They taped it. I watched it the next day because obviously I was 7. I couldn't stay up till 1 a.m. But, oh my God, after the euphoria of having a few weeks before seen the 1992 Royal Rumble and the glory of everything that happened with Ric Flair that year, I went into the 1993 Rumble with high hopes, and WWE shit on them faster than you can say Goldberg to win. Seriously. It was an awful Rumble full of, well, the best talent that WWE had to offer at the time. No disrespect there, but it was dull. It featured the debut of Giant Gonzalez, which, as we all know, didn't exactly stand the test of time. And it had the worst finish, I was going to say ever in Rumble history, but it was the worst finish ever, because even Vince McMahon popping both his calves trying to get the match restarted has a bit of comedy value. This had none.
Really?
Yeah. The finish of the match, the last 2 men in the match were Yokozuna and Macho Man Randy Savage. Macho Man Randy Savage was obviously unable to eliminate Yokozuna, and so hit him with a flying elbow and tried to pin him in a Royal Rumble.
Is this the same Yokozuna that wasn't even from Japan?
Who was a member of the same family as Roman Reigns and The Rock, yes.
And he's actually got a bit of a coverage on the WWE Network right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yokozuna, who at that time weighed 550 pounds and who the Macho Man couldn't have thrown over the top rope with the aid of several large rockets. However, he hit him with a Macho Man elbow, tried to pin him, and from the kick out from the pinfall, Randy Savage threw himself over the top rope and was eliminated, and as a result, Yokozuna won.
I have a bit of a
Need I go any further?
I have a bit of a theory why that happened.
I'm sure you do. I would love to hear it.
Because Macho Man was suffering from Macho Madness.
I think you will find that is as viable and sensible an answer as you're likely to get on the subject, but it really, the fact that he caught himself a little bit on the top rope because he didn't quite jump at the right time and he had to literally hang for a split second and then force himself over just made it worse. But the whole Rumble was underwhelming, and that finish will possibly go down in history as one of the top 5 worst match finishes in WWE history.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we say don't smoke crack.
Especially if you're on the WWE committee.
You do realise that wasn't his first pin attempt in a Rumble match?
I do. And so, at least semi-logically, from a point of view of, well, I've got to try something. I can't get him out the way that is intended over the top rope. So can they let me? Can they bend the rules for me here? Because I've got a massive uphill struggle. It kind of made sense, but it also didn't and was stupid. And the finish was preposterous, even to my 7-year-old brain at the time. Wow. Stunned silence in the burning truth.
Yeah, it was just like that at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, so that was our least favourite. Who wants to go first with their favourite?
I think JB should.
Me again?
Yeah,
I went last time.
Okay, fair enough. My favourite Royal Rumble, you might be able to guess this, by the way, listeners at home, is the home of possibly one of my favourite promos of all time. That would be the pre-Rumble promo by The Rock. and also the
Oh.
home of the one and only Hardcore Rumble. Well, part of it was Hardcore anyway, because they had all the guys from the Hardcore division at the time in the ring at the same time, and so a nice byproduct of that was Raven got a bowling ball in the testicles.
Do you make it
Yeah.
even more funny?
What?
You sit there and you say you call it the Hardcore Rumble, and yet no one actually points out the fact that in the Rumble match there is actually no rules against them using weapons.
This is actually correct. I was amazed in
However-
the Attitude Era, especially, that this one Rumble was all there was of it. It was like they didn't actually have a similar sort of thing to ICW, where in the Square Go, 6 entrants in the Rumble have a lottery drawn separately, and they're allowed to take a weapon with them. You know, I'm surprised more people don't use weapons in the Rumble, is what I'm saying. But in this particular year, which I don't think I've mentioned yet, by the way, was 2001, they did. And it was a very entertaining and diverting half hour. In what was overall a great Rumble, dominated by Kane when he set the, at the time, record for the most eliminations in one Rumble with 11, and eventually won for the third and final time by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which actually is actually another record on the Rumble.
Most number of wins, yes.
Yeah.
And
Although he almost had most consecutive wins.
yes.
Almost. But anyway,
Anyway, yeah. Also led to JR, not you, at the end proclaiming loudly and for all to hear on commentary, this has been
JR.
Royal Rumble 316, which it absolutely had, and it was epic. Right, that's mine. Irvin, what is yours?
Mine has to be the Royal Rumble 2000.
Ooh, close. Okay.
So, mine's just not because of the Rumble itself. It's more so along the lines of the rest of the matches that were on the card. You know, Kurt
Is
Angle and
that-
Taz.
I was going to say, is the
and-
Rumble itself actually the one where, in the subsequent intervention afterwards on Raw and stuff, it was determined that actually, officially, if we go by the books of the rules of the Royal Rumble, the Big Show should have won because both The Rock's feet hit the floor.
Yeah, but we all know that doesn't come into effect because
he's doing
And
the Rock Johnson.
Yeah. And
yeah,
I also believe that was actually the reason for the clarification of both feet touching the floor, because WWE tried to claim that only one of The Rock's feet did, contrary to all the photographic evidence.
And video evidence.
Yeah.
but it's more so like the time when Roman Reigns speared Brock Lesnar through the fucking cage and won the match.
No. Bulk laser. Oh, no. That wasn't.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's kind
But
of
that's what I'm saying. The
that-
controversy. I'm trying to explain that the controversy is what makes it so
yeah,
good.
much
sometimes.
when
It's like
that
you
other
bring
moment involving the
it's
Big
like
Show, and he threw Steve Austin through the cage and allowed him to win
Oh,
the cage
St.
match
Valentine's
because
Massacre.
because he broke the side of it and Austin sort of fell onto the floor.
yeah.
St. Valentine's Massacre.
Yes.
But then, like I say, anyway, the Royal Rumble 2000, it was a good time for me as well when I was into wrestling, because I just thoroughly enjoyed the product back then. So I was really, really into it, and nothing has come close to it since. For me, personally, nothing has come close to it. So
Well, like I said, for me, the 2001 one is better, but that was the same era. It was the same basic product, and not much has come close for me since either. So I totally
Yeah,
get where
exactly.
you're coming from.
So it's like you had the birth of, tables matches, TLC matches came from there, Royal Rumble 2000, and there was actually a stellar display of tag team wrestling mixed in with hardcore wrestling
Yeah,
at the same time as it being...
Intergender matches.
moderately safe intergender matches. You know, it's just Royal Rumble 2000, which just is the epitome for me of the Attitude Era.
Well, in the same way that 2001 was for me, yeah, that's pretty cool.
So,
What
you know.
about you, Batmans?
For me, I'm going to be adding on my own little words for it as well. I'm going to have to agree with Irvine.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but I also forgot about the infamous Cactus Jack and Triple H.
Street fight in the yeah.
Wow. Yeah, if anybody hasn't seen it, go back, watch it. It's awesome. Anyway, continue.
And if anybody wants to know any interesting facts about that match, just look up the WWE series Untold series with involving Mick Foley and Triple H in regards to that match. Because
out of interest, just for anyone who's recently watched NXT and seen the last woman standing match between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez, that's where they got most of their ideas from.
Some of them. Although they probably didn't have a pail of wood involved.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
unlike, you know exactly what I'm referring to there.
Yeah, we know.
With barbed wire around it.
No. It wasn't any barbed wire, but if anybody wants to look into it, nasty.
Yeah.
All I'll say to you is, a credit to Triple H, he also showed how much of an true entertainer he was, and how much it goes to show how much adrenaline works.
Oh, absolutely.
But anyway, point being is, it's not just that. The fact is, I believe you did you cover Taz choking somebody out?
Yeah, Kurt Angle, Taz, in a singles match. It was like Kurt Angle made his debut. Was it the year before that he made his debut?
2000 Rumble, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, not Angle. He made his. Was this at Survivor Series or something like that?
Kurt Angle's with Survivor Series. Taz made his debut.
That was
at
it.
Royal Rumble. Yeah, that was it. Because there was all this hype, and only a few people knew that Taz was making his debut.
Less than knew Kurt Angle was making his a few months before.
When he came out, there was such a massive pop because obviously everybody back then was a massive ECW fan as well. So,
and it's in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, exactly. So Taz is like a god there, and you know he comes out, literally defeats Angle within minutes, and Angle's like, "Oh, I'm undefeated," you know, blah blah blah, and you know, playing the true heel that he is. And Taz just absolutely obliterates him.
Which was awesome at the time, although who else now, thanks to a certain Mr. William Regal, can't see Taz without hearing the words, "That hideous little gobshite Taz."
Yeah.
Or Taz corpsing on commentary.
Yeah, that too.
But anyway, point being is, another thing to point out, which I'm surprised neither one of you pointed out yet.
Go on.
The constant replay during the Royal Rumble, if anyone remembers what happened.
Oh, yeah, because let's just clarify in case people didn't hear that, because you kind of just said it and moved on. You agree with Irvine. You think the 2000 Royal Rumble was the best one, yeah?
No, 2000, yeah.
2000, yeah. And you're talking about was it JR or was it the King's constant insistence?
It was the King.
Having a replay of the elimination. I would like to say elimination. I don't think he was even actually officially in the match, but the throwing out over the top rope of, was it Funaki or
no. Both of them run in. Kai did. And I'm just going to address this as they run in. They're like, we're gonna make a name for ourselves. We're gonna look good. Runs into certain people in the Rumble match. Taz just pretty much obliterates Funaki and just goes, "See you later." At which point Funaki went over, you know, pretty much looking like he was like a job.
Looking like he was collecting air miles, yeah.
Pretty much. And we sat there and thought, that was pretty high, but at least it was a safe landing. And then we have Bossman and Gangrel, you know, two smaller blokes compared to Test.
Yeah.
Grab Taka Michinoku and sort of just swing their arms and throw him towards the ropes. At which point, for some unknown reason, the momentum of Taka Michinoku decided, instead of me going over normal, I must do a flip over the ropes.
Yes, and not only did he come down with snow on him, but contrary to how it would make sense if you wanted to be safe, I think his nose hit the ground first.
Let's just put it this way: he wasn't yodeling for a while.
I'm pretty sure that the last thought that went through his head was, "This is going to look so cool," and then about 20 minutes later, when he woke up backstage, his first thought will have been, "What happened? Did that look?"
I do believe that the last thing that went through his head was actually the fucking concrete.
the mat. When it
more
hit.
than likely. This is going to look so cool. Shit. Crunch.
Or I did it in midair. I wonder if I get a free fly from the Air Miles.
I would actually also like to point out that this Royal Rumble was actually the Rumble that Rikishi actually made a massive impact on the Rumble itself, because he eliminated quite a few wrestlers.
Including his cohorts.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I've got the list in front of me.
Yeah.
You've got D'Lo Brown, he eliminated. Grandmaster Sexay, Mosh, Christian, Scotty 2 Hotty, Steve Blackman, Viscera. I mean, Viscera was a big dude, you know what I mean? He was like 3 times the size of Rikishi. And Rikishi actually made a massive... And this is where Vince McMahon actually looked at Rikishi and thought, yeah, actually, he's a decent... he can put on a good...
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it took Big Boss Man, Bob Backlund, who else? Edge, Gangrel, Test, and the British Bulldog to eliminate him.
Which is going some.
Which is quite a lot. You think about it, British Bulldog, not a small guy.
No.
Test, massive.
Not a small guy.
Gangrel, massive.
Not a small guy.
No. Let me just say this for the record. He might not look big on TV, but in person, he looks like he's built like a brick shithouse.
Yeah, exactly. And for our American viewers, I would say. Actually, no, I won't say that, because that we're going into uncharted territories there.
What's the position in American football that all the 300-pound guys play?
He looks like a lineback defense in American football.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at Mr. Burns coming in with the save.
And I love the fact that WWE loved how much Rikishi's efforts in that Rumble meant. They loved it so much that his eliminations were a record for a whole 1 year until 2001.
Yeah.
When they had Kane just obliterate 11 people just because it's like, okay.
It's like I say there, even Edge isn't a small dude.
No.
And the Big Boss Man, we all know that he's a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but then
Bob Backlund is just
I was going to say,
it's Bob Backlund.
It's impressive. Speaking of Taz as well, in 2001, after that epic start in 2000, his 2001 Royal Rumble at the hands of Kane lasted 10 seconds.
Yeah, I was just about to say, epic moment 2000, epic fail 2001.
He came in, threw 14 punches, all of which Kane completely no-sold. Kane picked him up, sat him bodily on the turnbuckle, swung a right hook, and sent him into the first row ringside.
No way.
But in 2001, for the record, Kane managed to eliminate Raven, Al Snow, Perry Saturn, Steve Blackman, Grandmaster Sexay, the Honky Tonk Man, The Rock, Taz, Albert, and Crash Holly. Oh, as well as Scotty 2 Hotty, although for some odd reason he needed The Undertaker's help with that one.
Yeah, just but I know why. I'm pretty sure that he was just showing off or something, and he tried to attack both of them, and they just looked at each other, looked at him, and then just threw him over.
No.
It was a sort of the
Double
Hurricane
chokeslam
trying
he
to choke
attempted.
slam the Big Show kind of moment. Yeah, I
Yeah.
No. He tried to double choke slam them, and you see them both look at each other, and you just see Undertaker just mouth, "Are you serious, bro?"
I remember. Yeah.
Which is just absolutely phenomenal. But
Yeah, it's just brilliant moments like that make Rumbles for me.
Yeah.
However, I think it should be 12, personally.
12.
Yeah,
Okay. Why?
because he put the fear of God into Drew Carey.
Well, technically, he didn't eliminate Drew Carey, but I'm pretty sure he made him shit himself, so that counts.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So that should count.
Yeah, I was just about to say he eliminated himself, didn't he?
He literally
Yes, because Kane
jumped over
Kane
the top
put the
rope
fear of
rather
God
than
into him,
have anything
And
to
if
do with Kane.
and he tried to bribe him.
Yeah,
So,
he did.
this is supposed to be part of a gimmick where the man was burnt severely as a child, so he's that ugly he has to wear a mask, and he's literally petrifying, and you're trying to bribe him with something that he doesn't fucking need.
After the backstage skit pre-Rumble, when Vince McMahon has just told Drew Carey he can have a spot in the match, and he wanders into the dressing room, sees Kane in the background, and says out loud, "Who's the goofy guy in the mask?" Not a good thing for increasing your life expectancy, that.
Yeah. I'm also just trying to remember the other thing. What makes it even more funny is Kane has a lot of interactions with celebrities.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember the person who he was famous for, the celebrity he ended up tombstoning.
Pete Rose.
There we go. That was the one.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember it for the life of me. I was just thinking to myself.
So yeah, there you have the best and worst of our Royal Rumbles. If you have a favourite which is either the same as one of ours or different, and you'd like to say why, as always, all the social medias for The Burning Truth are available. Get in touch.
Yeah.
And also, just to close before we do the finish and the plugs and get out of here, we need to mention the 2004 Royal Rumble. Because for reasons that we won't go into here, it's been kind of politely airbrushed from history due to who won. And I think that's a damn shame, because it is actually one of the best Rumble matches from start to finish that WWE's ever put together. And it's such a shame that, because of that little fact of who won, we're not really allowed to talk about it anymore.
We sort of not, but at the same time, it's not just because of WWE. It is a divisive one.
No, the match itself is only divisive because of who won. From start to finish, the Rumble itself is actually one of the best examples of the art form of a Royal Rumble match. And if I was to honestly say to people, pick three that you could watch, it'd be 2000, 2001, and 2004. They're like the modern Royal Rumble in a nutshell. But yeah, unfortunately, WWE likes to pretend it doesn't exist, and that's a shame. I mean,
do you know why I don't
what
like
happened
the 2000?
and who won? I understand, but sorry, carry on.
No, I just think the one thing I can't, get through my mind is like 2000, 2001, 2004. I based the 2000, 2001 as a whole event rather than just one match defining the actual.
Oh, I see.
Event. That's how I'm defining my best Royal Rumble, because obviously you can't forget about the other iconic matches that were on that card as well, other than the Rumble.
Yeah,
that is true, and that is somewhat where the 2001 Rumble falls down compared to 2000. I'll admit, because the card outside of the Rumble had good matches, but I don't think any of them were particularly great or legendary or will ever be in anyone's top 10 list.
Yeah. It's like I say that there are some terrible ones
Yeah. Don't get me
just-
wrong. That's also on the flip side. The '93 Rumble was the first time I ever saw Scott Steiner hit a Frankensteiner in the opening match. And it also had, I think, the Big Boss Man against Bam Bam Bigelow, which was an amazing match. But the Rumble itself let everything down.
Need I say that the Rumble that you were talking about when the Hurricane tried to choke slam two
Big
people, it was Austin and Triple H at 2002 Royal Rumble.
Ah,
My
okay.
mistake, yeah.
Cool.
That was actually
So
my
it
error,
was.
my clerical error.
There you go then. That's all good.
Because I've actually got the picture right here and it looks fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
You
It's
just
the fact.
you know when you just see picture this in your mind. You walk into a gym and literally you want to work out but you don't want to pay for it. So you walk in with 2 chopsticks and say, stick them up and train me. Otherwise, I'm going to hurt you.
That's a wonderful mental image.
Just to picture that in your mind and then just think of the aftermath and the carnage that follows.
And how
Yeah.
many, and as you're dragged limp from the premises, how many broken machines that you'd have been thrown through that they'd end up billing you for.
It's just so funny because I actually remember this one when the Hurricane actually grabs Triple H around the throat and he's down to one knee and he's selling it. He's just like, he goes for Austin after and he's just like, they both look at each other and go, nope.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's
Oh
wonderful.
my God. Yeah, I actually forgot that Mr. Perfect was in that Rumble as well.
Ooh.
The '93 Rumble, yes, he was.
No,
I think he was.
2002. I
Oh,
don't
was he?
realise
He was.
that.
Oh, I'd forgotten that as well. I know he was in the '93 one, and he made an absolute beeline for Ric Flair because of what happened the year before. That was one of the
Oops.
rare highlights of that particular year.
Oh, yes. We all
Yes.
remember the certain infamous spectacles that happened during these.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. The thing is, WWE's made a whole gimmick of WrestleMania moments, but Royal Rumble moments should also be a thing. They really
Yeah.
should.
Oh, if anybody wants a decent match to watch, and this is where I just couldn't get over William Regal, is William Regal against Edge for the Intercontinental Championship at the 2002 Royal Rumble.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh God, what a spectacle! That was really good, actually. You know, I might watch that after we
Just
finish.
two fundamentally sound wrestlers just having a very entertaining match.
Exactly, I might watch that actually after this.
Go for it.
I also remember it because it was supposed to be the year that, it was the year that Triple H returned, wasn't it,
Yeah.
from injury and won the
Yes.
Royal Rumble. And
Was that,
then-
speaking of Royal Rumble moments, was that the moment when I believe it was Booker T sold a pedigree by getting back up to his feet, staggering backwards 3/4 of the way across the ring and throwing himself over the top rope?
Yep.
Yes, that's why I love Booker T. Oh man,
That would be the fella.
can you imagine Booker T now as the 24/7 champion?
It's a genius idea. Book it.
Sucker!
Tell
Oh
me.
no,
You didn't just say that.
I want to see that now. So
I do. I absolutely do.
WWE, if you want to sell more titles, the
If you wanna sell
24/7 titles.
Yeah, replica 24/7 titles. We got 2 words for you. Booker T.
T. Thank you very much.
And all checks made payable to the Burning Truth. Please. Thank you.
Yeah. See, there's another stellar idea I've had this week.
For someone who's tired, you're coming up with them far too often. I think you're cheating.
Yeah, I think I need some paracetamol just to wind me down a little bit.
Possibly,
He might be
possibly.
googling. He might be Google.
Googling.
Oh,
Googling.
Damn it!
He did it. He did it. He did it. He did it. He did it.
Right, and on that bombshell, we hope you've enjoyed our little stumble through the history of the Royal Rumble, and we hope you enjoy watching it later. But Burns, do the plugs. We need to get out of here.
Actually, we don't do the plugs yet because we've got to discuss what we're covering next week.
Ah, crap. Yeah, that might be quite important. What are we covering next week, Matt Burns?
Next week, I'm going to pass this over to Irvine again.
Shit, you caught me.
What are we covering next week, Irvine?
Give me a boot up the arse because I really need it.
You don't
Drop him a very unsubtle hint.
Are you that tired?
Yes. Yes, I am. But I still want to entertain the masses.
I'm pretty sure it'll probably sink into your head in any minute.
Just say one word that'll tip him over the edge so he can remember. Or several, whatever. Just give him a clue.
I believe I might have already gave a clue already.
Yeah, but we can't remember. That's the point. Give us another one.
Right, okay. I'll give it another name. Just remember that Kane hasn't always been Kane.
Mm-hmm. Glenn J. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Boom!
Ladies and gentlemen,
Did you hear that incredibly loud crash? The penny
I
has
have
dropped.
just twigged in. I have literally just tuned in to what he is saying. Next week's topic is, and it might actually be a long one because it's quite funny. Funny or stupid, ridiculous wrestling names.
Ridiculous wrestling names. What?
We're not on about gimmicks.
We're not on about gimmicks. We're on about names. So, if anybody has any that they know of, send them to us. We will cover them if we find them hilarious enough or idiotic enough. We will cover them next week, and you may even get a shout out with it.
Yeah, not? Who knows? You might even find that. In all fairness, we just hope that when we are doing it next week, you find them humorous.
Really?
I like what you did there.
Really?
What?
Really?
Really?
That was class. I love it.
Right.
I had to.
Wonderful.
Anyway,
so next week we're talking about stupid wrestling
that's
names.
going to be it. I'm just going to jump straight into the plugs.
Do the plugs.
Do the
plugs
plug.
are going to be the fact that please follow the UK Way, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. We, of course, also recommend you check out charitable organisations like Change for Health and Wellbeing, Change for Recovery Radio, Mind, Messy for Mind, and Donald Louise Hospice Care for Children and Young People. Please, the information that they have on them websites can be massively useful and could actually end up, helping somebody out in a massive, glorious way. We, of course, also recommend you check out the lighter side of professional wrestling, be it either Botchamania, you're welcome, Matthew, WrestleCrap,
nice one, RD and Blade.
and, of course, OSW Review Lads. And in case if anyone wants to know what the OSW stands for, Old School Wrestling. Especially including the segment of What Bar. But anyway, we'll move on from that. We also recommend you check out your local wrestling promotions, be it either FCW, Future Championship Wrestling, United Wrestling, Future Shot Wrestling Academy, I believe Academy Pro Wrestling, Barracks Wrestling Academy, Fallen Star Wrestling, Venom Wrestling Federation, Wolfen Pro Wrestling, and many more. Any I've missed off?
I can't think of any because you've caught me on the hop. But if there are, there's a very convenient app that you can look them up on. So there you go. Oh, and the best part about it is it's free.
Yeah, it's free. Which is called
Babyface Wrestling
app. And that's where you can also follow your wrestling promotions and, of course, also follow any wrestlers on there.
Yep. Including Matt Burns, if you are so inclined. I can say it, but he can't self-promote because that's just cheeky.
Even though I just self-promoted UK Way.
Yeah, that's enough self-promotion. You don't need to do it twice.
That's fine. But anyway, moving on. I'm going to give out an extra shout-out to a certain quiz that I normally attend, but unfortunately haven't been able to attend for a few weeks due to being busy on The Burning Truth, which is, I believe, would be Alice Who the Quiz is Alice, which is on I believe, Facebook, if anybody wants to check that out from time to time, or wants to just have a check out some of the questions, give that a bit of a check out.
I cannot believe they called it that, but respect to them for going through with it.
Excuse me, I think it's brilliant idea.
I just said
brilliant
respect
name.
to them for going through with it. I wouldn't have had the nerve. I'd have chickened out and called it something less good, but the fact that they went through with it is good.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. But anyway, one thing I will point out is if anybody wants to check out all these links, we've actually got them available on the website, which the website is www.theburningtruthuk.com. And let me just point out, all external links on there, we cannot be held responsible because we do not control their content.
Indeed. Much
course,
like they do not control ours.
Correct. We also can also find us on social media, be it Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram.
Yep.
You can also hop onto the website to, properly support The Burning Truth. And Irvine, is there anything you want to add on to that?
Yeah, buy my fucking merch.
There we have it. Basically, in other words, check out our merch, buy it, because genuinely any purchase on there, you'll get something snazzy, handy-dandy, be it either mug, t-shirts and everything. But at the same time, you're also supporting us. And let me just point this out, that all funds do actually go back into The Burning Truth.
And let me just point out as well, after we go off air, remind me, I have some ideas so that I can actually contribute.
That's not a problem. I'll definitely remind JB of that. And of course, we are also... And you know what? I just realised I just missed off one more social media. How dumb am I for missing this one off?
Which one?
TikTok.
Oh, TikTok, the future, by the way.
Yeah.
The newest social media platform for a couple of us. And, it's the future. If you know someone who knows us, it's great. Follow us on
Even
there,
better.
because the sooner one of us, hopefully all three of us, but the sooner one of us gets to over 1,000 followers, we can do a TikTok live of The Burning Truth.
Yay!
Just another way that you can interact with us. So, that's the aim. Let's get it done.
Why not? But anyway, aside from that, you can also listen to past episodes of The Burning Truth. And where can we hear them? Either on the website, be it either on Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes,
Deezer,
Amazon Music,
and
of course, Google Podcasts.
Google
Podcasts. Yes.
He's never going to let me down on that one, is he?
Well, not considering you fucked it up earlier, no?
You kind of made a rod for your own back there.
Yeah, I thought so. But anyway, never mind.
It was a big juicy rod that went straight up his bum and into his back.
Now remember, please follow rule number 1. Anyway,
what?
Let's
Don't
just
make
get back
sexual
to it.
innuendo when Burns is trying to be serious. That's rule number 73.
No, actually, I think
No.
it's 69.
That's no. What rule did you just say?
69.
No, not you.
I said rule number 63.
63.
Yeah.
So
Is
basically nobody will be eating any. What was it? Nobody will be eating or ordering any online cookies while on the air.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man. You literally got that as a rule. Fuck, I need to cancel my order.
Damn it!
It's all right. It's all right. We'll be off air before it arrives. Just chill.
Right, don't worry, guys. I've just erased it out the rule book. It's amended.
No more cookies, holy fucking monster.
It's been amended. It's redacted.
But don't forget, the rule book is a bit like the last time the Conquistadors appeared on WWE television. There's Rule 67 and Rule 69, but Rule 68 called in sick.
Or it was gagging.
No comment. We'll move on. Anyway, the point being is, let's just move on to our wrap-up, which is basically where we sit there and talk about mental health, where we actually always state to everybody it's okay to be not okay.
Yes.
And asking for help is not a weakness.
That's
and you end up finding out there's more, that people care for you a lot more than you could ever know.
Even the ones that don't know you that well.
You never know. Anything else anyone wants to additionally add in at any point before I continue on the rest?
No, just thinking I think our aim's been a lot better this week. A lot better than a toddler pissing in a toilet.
I don't even know how to even... Let's move
You
on.
and me both. Let's move on.
Let's move on. I'm going to state the quote from Tom Campbell, which is never compare your behind the scenes to other people's greatest hits, but also give a bit of a quick message to Tom Campbell. Happy birthday, Tom Campbell.
Oh, sorry, were we supposed to join in? Yes, happy birthday.
Yeah, I don't know who this person is.
You ever watch Cultaholic?
Well, no, no, sorry. I will now,
Translation, we now know Irvine lives under a rock, or doesn't check on YouTube.
Is
anyway.
mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick. Anyway, we'll move on. Make yourself a priority once in a while. It's not selfish, it's necessary. And if you can be anything in this world at this moment in time, especially, please be more kind.
And failing that, what's rule number 1 of Progress and the Burning Truth?
Please continue. Go on.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah. And of course, the last message that we're going to put out, please be excellent to each other.
Yes.
And until then, until probably next week, where we'll be covering some hilarious names, we hope you all stay well and stay safe, and hopefully check out your local wrestling promotions, or give a call out to any family or colleagues you haven't spoken to, or friends you haven't spoken to in a long time. But until then, I've been Matt Burns. It has been emotional.
I've been John Bloor.
And I've been the pain in your ass, James Irvine.
And on that
signing
bombshell,
off.
And on that bombshell, it's time to end the show. So until next week, go away.
And if anybody does get that reference, just send a message to us, and we'll hopefully say you got it. But until then, catch you later.
Ta-ta now. Bye-bye then.
Sweet buzz.